Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to more WWE 2k15 Universe Mode. My name is BrendenPlayz. We're coming off a big episode of Raw and SmackDown the past couple episodes. If you haven't seen them, make sure you go ahead and do check them out. Well, we are building towards the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, and there's no better way to do it than this episode, because in this episode we're going to have Cesaro versus Ziggler in a Money in the Bank qualifying match. These two guys have been bitter rivals for many weeks, and now it's all on the line. A spot for Money in the Bank is up for grabs. As well as that, we have the International Airstrike taking on Gold and Stardust. Yes, we do have Stardust. Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose are going to have a rematch from their match that they had on last week's Raw. So can Dean Ambrose get a bit of revenge? Randy Orton, the WWE Champion, will face Alberto Del Rio. Nikki Bella and Tamina Snuka are going to have a match. These two divas have looked mighty impressive in recent weeks. And our second Money in the Bank qualifying match, it's Fatal 4-Way. It is Daniel Bryan, Roman Reigns, Chris Jericho, and Ryback. The winner will get the second spot in Money in the Bank. Okay, we have International Airstrike and Golden Stardust. It is Golden Stardust getting that victory. Rollins versus Ambrose. Rollins wins 2 from 2, the US Champion holding strong. Ambrose losing again. Orton and Del Rio, the champ, gets another victory. He needed that one. He needed to bounce back after the Jericho loss last week. And Tamina beat Nikki. Alright, we're going to move on to the first contest of this episode. It is Cesaro and Dolph Ziggler. Now, what is the story between these two guys? Why are these two guys, why do they hate each other so much? And why does this match mean just a hell of a lot more than just an opportunity to be in Money in the Bank? Well, it's pretty simple when you think about it. Cesaro screwed Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler had an opportunity for the United States Championship against Big E. And Cesaro, well, he was jealous of Dolph Ziggler. He was jealous because Dolph Ziggler was outperforming Cesaro, and Dolph Ziggler was too good, and he managed to defeat Cesaro to earn himself an opportunity for the US title. Cesaro, he was very good at the time. He was, winning a lot of matches, and arguably he deserved an opportunity too, but instead he was made the special guest referee, and Cesaro did a fast count on Dolph Ziggler, allowing Big E to get the win, and evidently screwing Dolph Ziggler. And ever since then, these two guys have just been at it, and now it's time to finally see these two bulls lock horns, and here we go. Not only will this be a personal matchup, but this is going to be a match that will decide the first person that will be in the 2014 Money in the Bank match. So these two guys, I think, are the perfect fit for Money in the Bank. When I see Money in the Bank, I see up-and-coming superstars. I see superstars that haven't quite performed to their best, haven't quite reached their peak, and this is an opportunity and an avenue that they can take to win a championship. So they can cash in Money in the Bank anytime, anywhere, and with that Money in the Bank, they can use it to elevate themselves and make a name for themselves here in Universe Mode. It happened last year. We had Money in the Bank 2013, and it was the guy that I wrote off straight away. I said, this guy will not win this match. He's too big, and it just does not suit him at all. It was Mark Henry, and he cashed in. He cashed in and won the championship. He cashed in on Sheamus, and he cost Sheamus the world title, and Sheamus evidently only had a 5-day title reign because of it. So Henry cashed in, he won the championship, and he held the championship for a couple of months, and it wasn't until Ryback took the title off Mark Henry, and of course Ryback was the longest reigning world champion of all time here in SmackDown, so not really much to be ashamed of there by Mark Henry, but Mark Henry was certainly nowhere near being a world champion at that time, but the Money in the Bank helped him, gave him that opportunity, and allowed him to get himself a world title around his waist. So without a doubt, you cannot knock that. Really good stuff there. And this is another opportunity for the same kind of thing to happen again. It could be one of these two. It could be Cesaro, who just planted a DDT on Dolph Ziggler, and now he's throwing a few haymakers, but Ziggler with a counter. And it could be one of the guys in the Fatal 4-Way tonight. And obviously the Fatal 4-Way, we have Jericho, yet to really reach his peak. Bryan never really had an opportunity for the title. Reigns just entering the singles frame. And Ryback, his career has been on a downward spiral. He's trying to make a comeback. this is a great way to do it. So Money in the Bank, I believe, is a great pay-per-view because it gives somebody an opportunity, gives someone a chance to revive their career or start it off in a great way. And Ziggler, those elbows after elbows still going. Look at him go. And here we go. Yes, one more there by Dolph Ziggler. So hitting those heart stoppers there on Cesaro. 2, and Cesaro, luckily enough, kicks out at 2 to keep this one alive. Dolph Ziggler, oh, zigzag to Cesaro. Ziggler's going to Money in the Bank. Yes, he is. He gets a bit of vengeance. And he is going to Money in the Bank. He will be in the Money in the Bank ladder match, ladies and gentlemen. There is your first participant in the Money in the Bank ladder match for 2014. Wow, what a match. And what a big win by Dolph Ziggler. Big opportunity for him. And, well, we've seen him be in and around that Intercontinental Championship scene. Now he's moved over to Raw. He was going after that US title. Just been unlucky, Dolph Ziggler. And now he could be the next Mr. Money in the Bank and get himself a WWE or World Heavyweight Championship around his waist. Is Dolph Ziggler your pick for Money in the Bank? Let me know in the comments section down below. Can Dolph Ziggler win Money in the Bank? Yes or no? I think he can. I think he could be one of the favorites, but we have to wait and see who exactly he's going to be facing, and we're going to find out the first of the next 4 opponents for Dolph Ziggler right now. And here comes a potential opponent. It is Daniel Bryan. And you think about Daniel Bryan, you think about a guy who's just been unlucky, just missed out, never really had an opportunity to be WWE Champion. He's had a couple of shots, but they've all been in multi-man matches, yet to get that one-on-one opportunity. And if he wins Money in the Bank, he's going to get that one-on-one opportunity whenever the hell he wants. And Chris Jericho, well, he's been called the guy who cannot win the big one, but he won a big one last week when he knocked off Randy Orton. And I guess this is his reward by the Authority for beating Randy Orton, is giving him an opportunity to be in the Money in the Bank ladder match. Not really making it easy on Jericho, but still, it's an opportunity nonetheless. And Chris Jericho has not really won the big one in his singles career here in Universe Mode. He's had a big match against The Undertaker at WrestleMania that just gone by, WrestleMania 30, and he missed out. But he's certainly been up in and around that world title picture. In recent times, he's moved around to that tag team picture where he has been quite successful, tag team champions with Christian. But now he's back in the singles division. For how long, I don't know, but he wants to be Money in the Bank winner, I can tell you that. Here comes Roman Reigns. He's a new entrant in the singles division after being the longest reigning tag team champion with Seth Rollins, a 2-time tag team champion here in Universe Mode. He's now here trying to claim his first singles title, and, well, being Money in the Bank will certainly help that. And we spoke about this man a little bit earlier, the longest reigning World Heavyweight Champion here in SmackDown. But now he's here on Raw, and ever since he's been on Raw, he has struggled. He had a run on Raw the first time, and he was never successful. He moved over to SmackDown, found success. Now he's back here on Raw, and he's struggling again. Maybe Raw's not the right place for Ryback, so if he wins Money in the Bank, he can go back over to SmackDown and cash in for the world title again and be a 2-time World Heavyweight Champion. Ryback held that world title for, I think, about 5-6 months. It was a hell of a reign. He won at Hell in a Cell. He lost it at WrestleMania 30. And ever since WrestleMania 30, he has struggled. He joined up with the Authority, and now it looks as though the Authority and Ryback may have parted ways, or the Authority have just letting Ryback go and do his own thing, while Triple H has realized that it's all down to him to try and take out Randy Orton by himself. So Ryback still getting an opportunity here in Money in the Bank, perhaps, but he's not getting a WWE Championship opportunity anytime soon, unfortunately. He's had a couple of shots and has been unsuccessful on both occasions, and now is a big opportunity for him to rectify himself, turn it all around here with the Money in the Bank qualifying matchup. And he's coming up against 3 of the best that Raw has to offer. This really is the top 4 that Raw has to offer right now. This is going to be one hell of a matchup. Fatal 4-way. The winner will join Dolph Ziggler in the Money in the Bank ladder match. And who knows, we could have some surprises at Money in the Bank. I mean, You know, like I said earlier, Mark Henry winning that Money in the Bank ladder match last year, it just goes to show, it doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter how big you are, the match type can suit anybody's game. Mark Henry was the guy I wrote off, said no chance, he's a big, strong guy, too big, this is not the match style for him. And you could argue Ryback and probably Roman Reigns as well probably don't suit the Money in the Bank ladder match, whereas Jericho and Bryan, I think, would, you know, certainly shine in this environment. And Jericho's been in plenty of Money in the Bank matches in his career, so he knows what it takes and what kind of physicality is involved in Money in the Bank, but hasn't quite won one himself, so this is an opportunity for Jericho to get that done. But yeah, I think these two bigger guys, in Roman Reigns and Ryback, one would assume that it's more of a high-flying matchup. You know, you need to do a lot of risk, take those risks and use them to your advantage. You know, if you have to jump off a ladder and put your opponent through a table, then you got to do that kind of thing. If you gotta, you know, you gotta go big or go home, and that's simply Money in the Bank in a nutshell. And Ryback and Roman Reigns, they are big, but can they take those risks that they may need to take to get themselves championship gold? Or you can be like Mark Henry and just be a monster and be the beast that he is and just take everyone out and climb up and grab the briefcase. Maybe we'll see that happen. But here is Roman Reigns and Ryback going at it. They've had some matches in the past, including one last week where we saw Roman Reigns knock off Ryback. So Ryback coming into this match not quite with the momentum behind him, but obviously Bryan, Reigns and Ryback all lost it. Their Fatal 4-Way match at Bragging Rights. So all three of those men won't be feeling too confident. And of course, Chris Jericho beating Randy Orton last week. He's going to be on sky high right now after, well, it's probably his first singles match for quite some time. And to knock off the champion while you're at it, that is huge. Probably could be, you know, one could argue that he deserves an opportunity at the WWE Championship at Money in the Bank. But I don't know what Triple H is doing right now. I know Randy Orton has called out Triple H. We have yet to hear Triple H's response. And Roman Reigns with the Superman punch, but Ryback with the counter. Now Bryan looking to get those stairs involved. So Randy Orton has called out Triple H, has issued a challenge for Triple H at Money in the Bank. And I'm not exactly sure what Triple H will say, but I'm sure we'll find out very soon, maybe even the next episode of Raw. We'll find out Triple H's response. So that is going to be exciting to see what happens there as Ryback and Jericho going at it as Reigns took out Bryan with the stairs as well. And there's Jericho taking down the big guy. And here we go. Is Jericho going to fly? He is! But, ooh, I don't know if he really connected that well. So Jericho showing that he's got to take a risk to try and get the reward. And that's exactly what you got to do with Money in the Bank. So Jericho just warming himself up to the Money in the Bank environment. Ryback is down, Jericho's down, it's Reigns and Bryan. Jericho back to his feet though. Oh, there's a German suplex there by Daniel Bryan. Now, are we going to see the big guy and Reigns? Yes, we are, as Reigns takes down Ryback again. And now the two smaller guys in Jericho and Bryan. Oh, hang on, what was Roman Reigns trying to hit there? Didn't quite connect, whatever the hell it was. And there's a drop kick by Chris Jericho taking down Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan straight back to his feet with a kip up. But no success there as he eats a backbreaker. And Ryback, he's got Roman Reigns up. Are we going to see Shell Shock? We might be seeing Shell Shock. Ryback dancing around the ring. Shell Shock. Down goes Reigns. Here's the cover. Bryan and Jericho busy. 2, 3, yes! Ryback has snuck in and he has stolen this victory. And just like that, Ryback has qualified for Money in the Bank, where we spoke about how Ryback doesn't have any momentum and he's struggling in recent times, but hey, he's just qualified for Money in the Bank. That is huge, and he could turn his career around at Money in the Bank. Is Ryback your pick for Money in the Bank? It's hard to look past him. He joins Dolph Ziggler as 2 of the 6 participants for Money in the Bank. There will be 3 on Raw and 3 on SmackDown. Next episode of Universe Mode, we'll find out 2 more participants on Friday Night SmackDown. And we are getting close to finding out the full 6 participants for that match. Well, there you go. The big guy has done it. Who is going to win Money in the Bank? We're going to find out very, very soon. Money in the Bank is coming your way very soon. Thanks, guys, for watching. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like of the video. And make sure you do subscribe to see more Universe Mode videos. And comment about this video. Tell me your thoughts and opinions on Money in the Bank so far. Will Triple H accept Randy Orton's challenge? Let me know in the comment section down below. And follow me on Twitter at BrendenPlayz, like me on Facebook at BrendenPlayz, and have a great day. Thanks, guys. Continue the discussion about this video and everything to do with BrendenPlayz by using the hashtag BPZ.